Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Prison Architect. Welcome back to LaCorp jail, where things are pretty much finished. I think the jail is as built as it's ever going to be. So let's see here. I have arranged for a prisoner intake, which is here. Now, it doesn't seem that big. However, it does include two death row inmates, something we've never had before in LaCorp jail. And you'll see here, up here, it says death row inmate status. We've got Gabriella, 35%, and Mina, 48%. Now, I've never looked at this stuff before. I've never played with death row at all in this game, so this is all new to me as well. We should have an informant. She's obviously doing her thing. Look, we have an ex-law enforcement, so let's put them into protective custody. What have we got here? Volatile. What we're going to do is put them into Supermax, and Supermax, that's fine. What's that? Oh, look, there's a death row. Here. Wow. Wow, look at all this. Look at all this. Murder, aggravated assault, murder, grievous bodily harm, attempted murder. She's a nasty piece of work, isn't she? Murder. Oh my goodness. She is the youngest of 3 daughters of an infamous crime boss, only known as the Reaper, in the city of Valencia. She is a wild one. Police are still looking for the people that went missing from her parties. Those they find aren't whole. Lovely. And look, we've got this new thing here. Likelihood of clemency. So, what's it say here? It says the likelihood that the appeal board will grant clemency and commute the prisoner's death row sentence. Each unsuccessful appeal lowers this value until it is below the state-approved conviction strength, at which point full authorization to proceed is given. Scheduling the execution before this point will result in extreme penalties if it is later found that the prisoner's appeal would have succeeded. If clemency is granted, the prisoner will be immediately released if found innocent, or transferred to maximum security if still judged as guilty. There we go. So, and then we can schedule it, can we? Oh, what's this? Oh no! Oh. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I misunderstood that one then. We do not want to do that. Where is she? Oh dear. Oh dear, look. We need guards on these doors, please. We need guards on the door. Thank you. Right, what were we doing? I got terribly distracted by all of this. Oh yeah, it does say schedule execution. Why did I click that? Jesus, I'm not paying attention. Apparently there's 2, so the other one obviously doesn't have a tag of some description. Should we deal with our informant? You don't need to be active anymore, Grace. At the same time though, can we search her and her cell? Thank you. Yes. Right. Because she might have stolen something from the office. Oh, we have got problems here. Can we please get some guards? At least, I mean, a guard in either one of these would do, to be honest. Either one would be fine. Please, yes, no? No? Blimey. Blimey! Look at them getting out the bus, getting all lined up. We're going to take these prisoners in to be processed. But I think we've done the processing that we need to with them. It's just that I'm stuck here doing the doors for the minute. What else has changed in the prison? Well, I've been going through all the staff room areas, auto-saving, and making sure that they are all fully equipped with all the things these new staff needs require, because we haven't turned on staff needs, and it appears, unfortunately, as though we won't be turning on staff needs, which is a real shame. But I've been doing a lot of testing with it, and oh, there we go. I've been doing a lot of testing with it, and it basically doesn't work. It's a bit broken, staff needs. So all the staff rooms now have staff canteens, and they have all sorts of bits and bobs in their staff rooms, and they've got their kennels. And is that actually marked as a kennel? Well, I suppose it must be, because they're all here, but I don't see. Oh, yeah. I don't see the word kennel. Right. So we've got a staff room here, fully equipped. These staff rooms are now fully equipped and renovated. And it's at the same. There's a repeat here. We finished this one. Got this all set up. We have another staff. We've got this staff room here. This one, all fully equipped, and we also have a staff room back here, fully equipped. And I also diligently went round the entire prison and made sure that all staff areas were also heated, which included all these little rooms. So I've put radiators in all these little security rooms, which I have, as you know, all over the prison, which is a real problem, because of course when I designed these, there was no such thing as staff needs. That came later, and now if I was going to be designing the prison, we wouldn't have these little rooms, security rooms. We would have sort of separate buildings that were full with CCTVs, dealing with the CCTVs and all these cells, so that the staff would only have to come to one location and it be heated and all that sort of thing. A bit like these areas that we've been setting up, you see. Probably more rooms like that. So it's sort of a mishmash between a prison that wasn't designed for staff needs into a prison that's been adapted for. And when I turned on staff needs, it actually went pretty well, in the respect that all the staff needs were getting attended to. And I also noticed that in the staff canteens, we were getting the food delivered, the trays were in place, and the staff were using their TVs and their games and that sort of thing, and they were pretty happy. However, what I discovered is, one, when they needed the toilet, even if they were standing right next to a staff toilet, they then might travel across the prison and go to a completely different toilet, most of the time getting there and being able to deal with that need, which was great. But the real problem was with food. And what was happening constantly, all the time, is that a member of staff would pick up a tray of food in a canteen, and instead of sitting down in that canteen to eat it, they would then proceed to cross the entire prison to sit at a bench, like I say, at the other side of the prison to eat. But what also happens is that while they're carrying their tray of food, they may decide, no, right now, actually, I would rather go to the toilet. And then they will just drop their tray wherever they are and go off and do something else, and not actually dealing with that hunger need. Which meant that I was spending 14,000 doubloons a day on staff food for it to just be strewn all over the prison floor. It was very rare that staff would just pick up a tray of food, sit down and eat it. That was extremely rare. Most of the time they would go from one side of the prison to the other, and if they managed to get to the other side uninterrupted, they would sit down and eat. And so I had, I think it was something like 3 staff breaks, and they were on sort of the maximum amount of time to take their break because they needed time to cross the prison for whatever reason. And with all that still in place, and I employed loads and loads and loads more chefs as well to try and keep the trays clean, and the workmen weren't building anything, so they were able to bring the staff food in all the time. But even with all that support staff, ultimately the food, the hunger of staff needs wasn't getting met. And the staff were progressively becoming pissed off, as it says in game. So it simply doesn't work. It seems that I have enough staff rooms. Staff they truly are able to get to a close staff room and benefit from its needs. But for some reason, there's this ridiculous AI that they need to cross the entire prison in order to sit down and eat. They won't just sit down at the nearest bench in the nearest staff of wherever they've picked up their food and go. It's absolutely crazy. So unfortunately, we will not be having staff needs switched on in version 1 of LaCorp Jail. It's broken and they need to fix it, and I'm not turning it on until they do fix it. So unfortunately no staff needs. However, at least this prison is fully equipped to deal with staff needs when it is working. So that's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's got all that it needs. What else have we been doing? Well, the only other big change to the prison that I did was to the workshop. Now, we've been having a lot of problems with the workshop. I've not really covered it, but we have. In that we've not been getting money from exports. Not really. So exports yesterday was almost, 10,000. This is much better. What was happening is I had one workshop and loads of classes. So at no point there was no jobs available in the workshop so that people could actually make license plates and beds and things like that. So we weren't getting any exports done. People were just being trained up in it, and then people that were trained in the workshop were not actually able to work in the workshop. That's terrible. That's nonsense. That's, there's a lot of money to be made in exports, and now I do not struggle with cash flow at all because we just make so much money from exports. We managed to get it. I mean, that bed there, look, sale price 400 doubloons, and we get loads of them every day. You can see them all working really, really hard. So what I did is I demolished our workshop and I made 3. This is actually 3 separate workshops here. I've kept the same theme in that we still divide up spaces, and there are still the possibility of locking spaces down. And this is the training. This one here is the training workshop. So we can see here that our foreman is teaching. I would have had another workshop with training courses, but you're only allowed one foreman, and it's only the foreman that can teach. So he's teaching as much as he can, and he does so in this workshop. And what I have found is that, I don't know if you've noticed, but in LaCorp Jail, we have never had a violent outbreak in our workshop. Bearing in mind, we have maximum security people in here, and that's minimum security, and we also have medium security kicking about somewhere. So we've got every type of prisoner in these workshops, and we never have had a bloody outburst, which I think is great. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that we do break these rooms up, and we do have lockdowns. We always have guards. Look, there's 3 guards patrolling in here, 2 in here. In fact, that might be a 4th. No, he's leaving. No, so we got them patrolling everywhere. And you'll notice as well, metal detectors every step of the way. This is our first actual working. This is just all jobs. No training in here at all. This is our second workshop. And this is focused mostly around carpentry, as you can see. So we've got more carpentry tables here than anything else. But again, it's all broken down into sections. We've got police patrolling everywhere. We've got the solitary doors for lockdown, should we need them to. And again, we've got the metal detectors. And we've repeated it again. And we've got a third one here. Another workshop which focuses mainly on license. Auto-saving license plates. So that's what they mainly focus on. So yeah, and then we've got CCTV guy here who also monitors all the CCTV cameras. So they are really being watched. They're being heavily patrolled. We have CCTV, we've got metal detectors everywhere, lockdowns, everything's broken up into smaller rooms. And as a result, I have never had any outburst in the workshop. So I highly recommend this, breaking it into sections, and then I've got multiple workshops as well. And now, as you can see, the exports is just crazy. I've seen that much higher as well. Some days are better than other days. We've added an extra bit of forestry down here. We've turned this into a forestry for now, just because I ended up taking away quite a bit of forestry area in order to fit in 3 workshops here. Indeed I did. So, oh my god, look! Here's our death row. Here's our death row, ladies. So we've got 2. Look, they're in here. They're in here. So I'm not sure. We probably don't have any deployment here, do we? No, we don't, because, well, why would I? There's not normally people here. So we'll deploy them. Well, what's the point in deploy? Well, I suppose I've got it all switched on now. Death row. So, oh no, that's in the wrong place. So it's probably best that we do have them checking every room now, because I now am just leaving, oops-a-daisies, leaving death row intake switched on at all times. So, I suppose, really, we should have guards here all day. I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? So we'll have guards all day patrolling the area, and all night. I think that's all of them, isn't it? Oh no. Is that it? Is that all of them? There we go. And then we should probably get some dogs as well going. So I'll put those. In fact, do you know? I was just thinking maybe we should actually have 2 separate sides. That would be a more efficient way of doing it, I think, if we didn't have these paths connected. If we had a line here, remove these 2 middle ones and a line here, so that a police officer and a dog thing was just dealing with these 5 rooms and the same on the other side. That would be a more efficient way of doing it. But I've come this far now. In for a penny, in for a pound. But that would be a better way of doing it. So, because LaCorp Jail very shortly is going to be uploaded to the Steam Workshop. So, so there you are. There's a more efficient way of doing it if you decide to mess around with this prison that I have so diligently built. So this is the one that we've not looked at. Again, oh my god, murder, rape, murder, bodily harm, armed robbery, torture. Oh dear. But she doesn't have a biography for us to enjoy and read. Blimey. Shall we search their cells? I mean, they would have been strip searched on their way in, because that's just what this prison does. But at the same time, I think we will just check them over. Should we do that? Oops. Oops. We could check them over, make sure these cells are good, but they should be. Nobody's been in them before. They are brand new to these cells, but they shouldn't get too many needs. So her privacy needs going up. She doesn't have any clothes. Is nobody? Oh yeah, look, she's got clean clothes. Okay. So her hygiene's quite high. They have telephones, so she can call her family. She won't get freedom. We don't bother with freedom. I probably should give them like a little yard or something out here and give Death Row some yard time. I'm assuming that Death Row just... I know, look, Death Row doesn't have a regime. They are just banged up all the time, I guess. So it's probably a good idea that we've got these rooms all kitted out with all sorts of lovely things, because it looks like they're not allowed. Even if I wanted them to, they're not allowed any freedom. And this is Death Row's parole section. So it's not parole though, is it? What's it called? What's the clemency? Right, yes, this is where they would go for those meetings. I've set that up in, it was a program. There it is. Programs, Death Row Pill. There you go. There it is. And oh look, I've not hooked up this radiator. It happens. Oh look, they've not. How bizarre. That's weird, isn't it? How bizarre. Let's do that. Let's fix that up. And so look, they've also got. What is this? Visitation. That's it. Visitation. In fact, I've not turned on the visitation because again, it wasn't really needed. Shall we put the visitation room in? There we go. That should work, right? You're going to register? That should work. No? It's indoors and it has visitor booths. It does tend to take a little time, doesn't it, just to register. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh no! Oh no! This sort of got better. This did get better, but it's got worse again recently. This system was working really well, but yeah, as of late, sort of past sort of couple of playthroughs, it's got really bad again. Sort of getting these doors fired up. I don't know why. I don't know why it was working so well. A lot of them are actually solitary doors, so that should there be nobody operating, a police officer guard can actually let them through. However, some doors are very much remote because they are very important checkpoints, like getting out to the main entrance. They're going to be remote only. I don't want prisoners, if they get that far in escape mode, I don't want them to be able to have some keys and just let themselves out. That's a big no-no, and it's a bit similar here. We don't want them breaking into this section because this is where all the nasty stuff is, you know. They can have access to all sorts of crazy things here. Look at these guys constantly setting off the metal detectors. I bet it's largely scissors as well. We have a real scissors problem in this prison. So what I did recently is I added, look, some metal detectors to here because pretty much most of the scissors are being stolen from the library. Just constant scissor stealing. They're all stealing scissors all the time. So we've had a real epidemic of scissors. And of course I tend to do a shakedown most nights, and it's just scissors. Crazy amounts of scissors. Well, I think that is pretty much it for LaCorp Jail. It is built. It is version 1 of LaCorp Jail, and in the next series of Prison Architect, which probably won't be for a little while, I do want to rest from this game, but we will be looking at gangs and escape mode and all that sort of stuff. And between now and then, I will be building a version 2. Because I've learnt a lot from building this prison, as you can imagine. It's huge, and I've learnt so much. And one thing I will be doing is rebuilding this entire section on this side of the road and getting rid of this. But for now, version 1 of LaCorp Jail is now on Steam, and you can go and download it. And the link for the prison is in the description below. It doesn't work perfectly. It's not as neat as it could be. I have got a bit slapdash towards the end. There are certainly plenty of tweaks that you could be doing to make this prison run better, more smoothly, for them to catch more contraband and stuff like that. But that'll be part of the fun of me uploading it to Steam, and you'll be able to download it and try to escape from it, turn gangs on, turn non-staff needs so you can experience nobody eating and all that fun. Yeah. This is, I suppose, technically the last episode, but there will be one more episode where we'll have a grand tour of the prison and we'll just look at all the different sections and stuff like that. That will be out tomorrow. And for now, to finish off the series, let's watch one of our death row ladies be executed.